This is not a test. What you are witnessing is live radio 106.5 FM. And this is the Indivo Radio Show with your host, Mitch Barnes, Kel G, Reek, and I am DJ KDL. Let's get into it.
You already know, Indivo Radio in the building every Saturday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. live on WPPM LP Philadelphia, 106.5 FM, and y'all can catch us online at phillycam.org/radio/listen. And where else, Kel?
On the TuneIn Radio app. Download the TuneIn Radio app and do a search for Philly Cam WPPM.
Yeah, you here with your host, Mitch Bonds, Wreak Havoc, Kel G's, and DJ KDL. We got some special guests in the building. You already know. We got my man EA all day.
You already know.
Yeah,
you already know. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and all the listeners? Thanks for having me again on Philly Cam WPPM 106.5
FM all day.
You already know.
Yeah,
what's happening, man?
Man, I'm feeling alright, man.
I see you got the whole squad in the building.
Oh yeah, you already know we gotta be fully staffed, bro.
Yeah, because especially when you go to interview a guy like myself, man, you never know.
Yeah.
I bought an arsenal with me.
Okay.
You know,
I appreciate it.
A real good arsenal.
Yeah,
y'all ready for it?
Listen.
Who you got with you?
Well, first of all, I just want to say, for those that's listening, you know, if you never, ever were educated on people that actually does wondrous things for our communities, you're going to know today.
That's what's up.
And I'm going to introduce him, and then I'm going to allow him to break down a little matter of perspective about his company. Mr. Archie iday.org Foundation, and it's I as in ice cream, D as in David, A as in apple, Y as in Yogi.
You already know.
Mr. Archie, welcome aboard, sir.
Oh, EJ, thanks so much for being here. Thank you.
Tell them a little bit about your company, Mr. Archie, if you don't mind, and what's your background. I think it's very important for you to tell your background so they can understand. My friends, these are my friends here,
Okay.
and I'm excited for them to know about your plans and your goals, and to stop the violence event that we're about to do.
Well, first about me, I came to the United States, years now, at 16, and I'm now 60. So you know that's many, many years ago.
Yeah.
I went to school here, finished up at Overbrook High School for the blind. I am blind, but of course, you know, I run lots of things here in Philadelphia and across the country. And I went to Temple, got an undergraduate degree, went to Indiana University, got a graduate degree, and then came back to Temple, worked on my PhD. And while I was finishing up my PhD at Temple, I was also teaching political science. I did that for 10 years. So I've been around for a while. And out of that, I was very, very concerned that in the classes I was teaching, that there were really only, each semester, there would be 80 students, and only one of them, or two of them would be African Americans, and the rest were Asians, and of course the rest of them were all European Americans. And I was concerned that as a black man, what was I doing to solve or to help solve the problems of our young people? And on Saturdays, I started working on with a few young people, helping them take the SAT and helping them with their reading and their skills. And out of that came IDA. And the first Saturday in 1991, I told 7 students I was working with to come and just bring one more, because I still had to do my Temple University teaching. I couldn't take on lots. And when they came that Saturday, 7 students, we counted 200 in the hallway in
Wow.
the Ritter Annex. And that told me and my friend Stephen T. Robinson that there was a need and we weren't going to turn back. Because this was all volunteer. This was no mandate, no requirement, no order.
Wow.
200 young people, teenagers showed up. And out of that, 26 years ago, IDA Institute for the Development of African American Youth, although we serve everybody, because we have Latinos, a good 25% Latinos, we have European Americans at the Institute, we also have Asians, but by far I would say what 65-70% African Americans. And we do a wide range of activities, but in any time, because believe me, I can talk with my eyes closed.
Well, to explain to them the reason why you say you can talk. With your eyes closed, Mr. Archie, if you don't mind, because I don't think it's respectful that I say it to the listeners that's
Yeah.
listening.
Well, I'm blind. I see nothing, but I have insight, not outer sight. And
Wow.
often insight is extremely important. And I believe the problems of our community is ours. Yes, our city government and our state and federal government certainly need to support and assist us. But at the end of the day, who answers the challenges of preparing our young people to be educated, helping them with jobs, helping them know who they are, providing for support for families, making sure young people are not abused and done wrong, but opportunities, it is us. And I truly believe we need to be the ones leading and providing those opportunities. There is a responsibility, and as a black man, I have stepped up to it, and I will continue to do so.
So,
Thank you.
we really thank you. We all, on behalf of the whole WPPM 106.5 FM, all staff members, including myself, just being a guest with you, Mr. Archie. Yeah, I think that it's a lot more entrepreneurs, not in a financial way. We need urgently so many people like yourself to step up and help the youth. And explain a little bit what your program does for the youth.
Well, we have 5 core programs and then an additional 7 services. And the one main program that started, of course, at Temple is the education, because education is the way out of the hood, the way out of poverty, and the way out of many challenges.
Right.
So I believe very strongly that as a blind man, I would never be a college professor at a second university, travel the world. I studied in Germany, in Canada, all over the place, if I were not educated. I'm truly saying that people would see me and think, oh, he can't do it because he's blind. But they can't blow away that you're educated and you can talk to them. I want to make sure it doesn't sound too egotistical.
No, you're fine. And you have to speak like that because some people think that you are incompetent when you lose, some of your godly, well, I don't want to say not an instinct, but some of the things that you were blessed with, such as sight and sound. And I just know from a religious perspective that sometimes you don't have to be physically blind, you can be mentally blind. And we talked about that a lot, and, when, not to go into a religious aspect, I just think that when the first time that you told me that you quit your job from Temple
Right.
to do this, is that correct?
It is correct. I left. I could no longer do it because I was teaching the same classes and not affecting our young people. And it's not anything racist, but I want to teach African American young people. Pass
Wow.
on the knowledge that I know to them, not to someone else who will then use it and discriminate against us.
Wow.
Now, Mr. Archie, when you lecture and talk to, I guess, the students or your mentees, do you emphasize entrepreneurship and black people owning their own businesses so that they can in turn hire other black people?
Without a doubt. I'm the example, I'm the leader, I'm showing them that I've left my job with a PhD to do this, and they need to do the same thing. In fact, I tell them all the time, at the turn of the century, 20th century, only 5% of Americans were working for somebody else, 95% were working for themselves. At the end of that century, it was completely reversed. 95% of us were working for somebody else. And we need to change that equation. Because working for yourself, as challenging as it is how we're going to get out of here. With education and with skills. And it allows us the opportunities to hire who we would like to hire, which is ourselves.
Wow.
Now, what's some of the businesses that you think that entrepreneurs should focus on instead of just the normal ones that everyone's doing?
Well, I tell my young people all the time, if you walk around any block, and I suspect this block too, there are probably 50 opportunities for us. We overlook it because we think somebody else is going to do it. Someone else with money, George Soros, Donald Trump, these people with money will do it. And I tell them that's not their job. That's why they're screwing us today. Because we're giving up our opportunities and our control, our leverage to them and hoping they do the work. So we can literally walk around. I was at North Philadelphia the other day, literally walking on the 2400 block of Bouvier Street and literally just highlighting for the folks I was with, we can fix this up. We need the money to do this. This sidewalk needs to get fixed. This house needs to get fixed. This backyard needs to get All of those are jobs where young people and those of us who are mentoring and training them can do. How to do roofing, how to do locksmith. We don't have to pick locks to be arrested. We need to make locks stronger. There's a technology to do that. So we need to pave streets. We need to repair toilets. We need all kinds of things. We need to do those jobs, and those jobs together will hire young people and young people that we believe are very important.
And I believe myself, EA speaking, that it will help stop and reduce crime.
Oh yeah,
Crime
definitely.
prevention is big. What do you say about that?
I definitely agree with that because I know for a fact firsthand that when you out here struggling, you only do what you was taught, and what you was taught mainly was what your old heads, your peers taught you. And when we was coming, it was basically the street game, the hustle.
Right.
But I know, and I'm speaking for myself, when you have a job, especially when you got the benefits, your whole life changed. You don't even be thinking about, especially when you got kids and the benefits cover them kids, you don't even be thinking about going back to the street life. It becomes not an option at all.
Right, because you're giving somebody something to live for. If somebody don't
Yeah.
have something to live for, then they don't value your life or their own. But when, and a lot of times when people don't have no money or they broke, it turn into survival of the fittest. So you might do some crazy stuff for $50. $50.
That's
look
true.
like that.
Yeah, right.
And that's true.
$50 might be $5,000 to somebody else, but you willing to go out when you got kids at home that's starving and your girl barking at you that the light's about to get cut off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, no, I agree with you. I really think the problems are solvable. I hate to tell you this because so many people think
They
it's
are.
not. North Philly and West Philly, they're what they are and they're going to remain forever, and I disagree. I think enough of us coming together can solve the problems because they were man-made. They were made by somebody else, and they're imposing on us. The reasons of we don't have quality education is the majority of people in Harrisburg control what happens in Philadelphia, and they won't allocate those dollars. And the Philadelphia delegation, in my opinion, is very weak and lacks leadership. Even the Black Caucus. We need strong people who understand and are educated to do this kind of work instead of the kind of infighting that goes on. The infighting doesn't advance anything for young persons in North Philadelphia. It only advances their fortune. So I believe we need to do a lot of work in those areas, and we can get this done. This is man-made. This is not God-made. God gave us the talent to fix it. That's why I'm here as a blind person fixing it with all of you, giving me the opportunity to work with you to get this done. We can do this, and we need to know that we can do this.
And see, the good thing about that is, we need people like yourself that's very empowering, because sometimes we as young black entrepreneurs or from an urban background, we tend to get a little weak, but we're so strong. Because sometimes we try to bring things to the table that's positive, and the young guys say, and we do know that in order to stop crime, you need to provide jobs.
Definitely.
Jobs is like imperative. So how many youth do you work with present with iday.org?
815 young people.
850?
15.
850.
815.
815, okay. Now I can
We
hear
have
you now, Archie.
65 employees. We have 65 employees on staff.
And just
Wow.
to let you guys know, this is Lucinda
Is-
Trotter. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
It's the company is called iDay. The website is iday.org.
Your company's, we have a difficulty with her mic. So the company is iday.org.
No, just iDay.
iday, right, okay.
But the website
But
is
the website is
iday.org.
You know what? Because the commercial that I hear so much, it drills me to just keep saying it.
That's why we was letting
Like,
you know.
yeah, the company is iDay, which is
Right.
spelled I as in ice cream, D
Right.
as in Delta, A as in Alpha, A as in Alpha, Y as in Yogi. Now, the website is iday.org.
Correct.
Now, is it a Philadelphia-based company?
It is a Philadelphia-based company, but be aware that the work that I do, the consulting work, we are affecting many other folks across our country. There are folks in Detroit that I work with, that they call me all the time and I consult, help them with, structural developments, organizational developments. Folks in New York that I work with out of the Bronx. And even here in Philadelphia, some of the organizations that you guys may have heard of, actually started right under my nose, Mothers in Charge.
Wow,
It's something
yeah.
that grew out of my office. Right now, we're putting together a specialized nursing school, and I'm the primary person helping put that together. So
Wow.
we are doing all kinds of things. Philadelphia Safety Initiative is another organization, PSI, and I can just list them. There are about 7 groups that I work with as a consultant behind the scene, helping them with their development. So if I can do it, I know all of us can do it. We can't leave employment and training and education to just a few. All of us need to be encouraged.
Yeah.
Now, let me say this, Mr. Archie. We're speaking of enthusiasm in doing this. Sometimes, the road gets very, very, very challenging. So what can you say to young minorities that sometime when the road get rough and we feel like we want to give up and we want to go back to the streets, doing whatever it is they do, what would you say to them?
Well, you need to find folks like myself, and there's several of us out here doing this kind of work, who can give you support and help you think through the challenges and really help you make this happen. And there are people really doing this, but there are few people that I know doing it, and I've been around for 20, 30 years doing this kind of work. But there are good people out there doing this kind of work. And you need to pick up the phone and call me. People call me all the time.
Can you get our listeners that's just tuning in your number and your information real quick?
Yeah, my direct number is 215-901-6976. 215-901-6976. And at the agency, IDA, it's 215-235-9110.
And for those that's just tuning in, like Mitch said, you tuned in with myself, EA, from hiphopondeck.com. We have the director, Archie, from IDA Foundation, which is a foundation that actually does so much for urban developments. And I'm just not going to say it's a foundation. He's like a construction company. He has the bulldozer, he has the chisel, he has all the key components to help. But we as a youth need to try to reach out to organizations, not only to itself, to all organizations, to see if we can make things manifest in the physical. Now, Mr. Archie, now say for instance if myself, a young man, needs a starting point. Now, are you hiring right now today?
We are hiring right now. At IDA, of course, you have to meet the credentials. Either you
Okay.
have 12 credits from a university, we can hire you in one of our positions. I was just talking to Lucinda, who is to my left, said, let's find out. And if you
Right.
don't have 12 college credits, we'll help you figure out how to get those college credits. Community college, excellent, a lot of vocational schools around here who can help you. You can now do things online. You don't have to be intimidated. Well, our young people are intimidated only because their public schools have done such a lousy job that they're afraid of adding 1 + 1 to make 5.
Wow.
Mr. Archie, you said public schools. Why do you think the public schools in Philadelphia are so bad?
Because the funding comes from Harrisburg, and Harrisburg are not folks who look like you and me.
Right.
And therefore, they don't think that it's important that they allocate the kinds of funds to do so. And I think it's a direct reflection on a governor who is Democratic and the Black Caucus and the Philadelphia delegation. Their responsibility is to persuade all those in leadership to get this work done. And I think they will say they're doing a good job. Actually, I know most of them. But frankly, in my opinion, you can't be doing a good job when our young people are so stricken with not being able to read. I have 17-year-olds, 16-year-olds who come into my office and cannot read. They don't have skills. The best thing they can do is own a corner. That is not something we should be proud of. We should be helping them get jobs, be able to read. If you read, certainly you will be able to get on the road of doing well. And this is what slave owners did 300 years ago. Keep us away from reading, because they know if you can't read, you will not be able to understand and move forward. So the very basics that they're not allocating in Harrisburg is what our problems are. They put drugs in our neighborhood. Listen, I don't know who actually does it, but someone is doing it, and I guarantee you it's not happening on the mainland. And if it is, that's where they have all the good services, so they can, their young people indeed can get the services they need and the rehabilitation. We don't.
Well, Mr. Archie, you said it best, and you are a perfect example of what we need to talk about further, but you know we gotta pay the bills.
That's right.
Yeah, so we're gonna take a break. As
a break.
the gentleman say, live on the WPPM show, 106.5 FM.
Indivo Radio, let's go. We're gonna get into this song by my man Now Boogie real quick. We'll be right back.
Indivo Radio, every Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m. live on 106.5 WPPM LP, Philadelphia.
Yo, 106.5 FM. Every Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m. Y'all can tune on the line at phillycam.org/ radio / listening. We back in the building. You know what I mean? With my man EA and friends.
Yes,
You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
we're here. Also, Mr. Archie is still here. He just got me so many questions we talked about behind the scenes with Mr. Archie, his foundation, IDAY, which is spelled, again, for those that's tuning in, Mr. Archie does a lot of things for the urban development and the way we think, the way we live, from a sociology perspective as well as a psychology perspective. We really like everything that he's doing, and what's big about what Mr. Archie is doing right now and up to date is a Stop the Violence concert.
When is it?
November 18th is at the Omni Arts Center,
Okay.
right there on Chew Avenue, right there Broad and Chew, right from the Sneaker Villa, Broad and Omni.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and I'm going to bring you guys. I need you guys support on that.
I know it's like right there right away. Like, okay.
Yes.
So how long you been doing this? How long you been doing this, brother?
Doing what? The concept?
Yes.
Actually, it all has recently been hatched with EA helping
Okay.
us and really stepping up and doing an awesome job. And Lucinda, who is one of our staff members, and they're putting it together. Be real clear here that the reason we're doing this is not only a way of reaching our young people, but also to funding the agency, because when Harrisburg and DHS don't have money and the city doesn't have money, we struggle.
I gotta ask you question, Mr. Archie. Is it a non-profit organization?
It is non-profit.
Oh, bet you on the right station then, because you could solicit funds here at WPPM LP,
Okay.
Philadelphia 106.5, as long as it's a non-profit organization.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, he's definitely non-profit, and you already know.
So you have a way for them to donate? You have like a website or something?
Yep, we have a website.
Yeah, it's okay for me.
Yeah.
Go ahead, listen.
Make sure you
Yeah, the website
There you
is
go.
idaay.org, and our GoFundMe is also on iday.org. So we do have a GoFundMe, and we are actually putting this concert together. Can
There
you hear
go.
me, guys?
Yep, I can hear you now.
We're actually putting this concert together to get funding.
Okay.
Because what people don't know, which Mr. Leacock, Archie did
Stay
not
in the
say,
mic. Listen, stay in the mic.
I'm in the mic.
There you go.
See?
Just
Remember, I'm a
don't
radio-
turn your head.
Remember, I'm a radio personality too, but mine's,
Okay.
All right, how about right there? Let's make me
That's
more
great.
Stay like that.
All right. But what they didn't mention is that Archie's been giving back to the young people by purchasing furniture for them, paying cell phone bills. A young man was just, I believe, murdered. He paid for the funeral. He furnishes, he does so many. We also pay restitution. How cool is that?
That's dope.
So what happened is the young people that we work with, that I work with on a daily basis, they have restitution to pay. They on house arrest. Like I said before, I go to their houses, check on them. But they have restitution, so they do community service. When they do community service, they calculate the hours, and that's how they get their restitution paid. So with that being said, when we had a concert, this money will still go to the funding, whereas though we could keep helping these young people.
That's dope, because one thing, it was different when we was coming up, but now, when you don't pay that restitution, they be on your top. They be trying to send you back to jail without their restitution.
Exactly.
That's why Archie deemed necessary to step it up and
That's serious.
to try to help out. Bruno Brown, though.
Oh yeah.
Introduce yourself, bro.
How you doing? My name Bruno Brown.
Yeah.
Originated from California, raised in Philadelphia. How you all doing?
From Cali to Philly?
Yes.
How long you lived in Philly?
I lived in Philly for the majority of my life though.
Okay.
But I'm back and forth. I'm back and forth from Philly to Cali as well.
That's what's up.
Oh, yeah, what
Yeah.
part of California?
San Jose, Mountain View.
You ain't banging, is you?
Oh no.
Making sure.
Man,
There's too much red in
I'm-
there. I
I'm-
ain't know
I'm
what was
Tommy
going on
Hearns'
when I walked
nephew.
in.
we ain't really tell. He moved over Philly. He was like 3 years old, man. In California.
Okay.
So we got Stop the Violence concert. And within stopping the violence, like the brother said, it really takes in within knowledge. Because knowledge tastes bitter, but the outcome is sweet as honey. You feel what I'm saying? So we gotta gain it. We really have to gain it. And you know, it's also like a cup of water. You know what I mean? If we don't utilize it, we won't benefit. So we definitely had to be taught, and due to our ignorance of us not knowing, it runs us away. And I'm speaking this from like a youth aspect as well as older.
Okay.
It, like when we don't know things, it tend to run us away. You know what I mean? We be afraid to come into the room of people that's more knowledgeable than us and gaining the knowledge. So we go to other doors. But however, you know, we got the Stop the Violence concert.
Right.
Whereas though we're gonna provide knowledge for the people. We're gonna have great performances. We're gonna have a great time, and we're gonna enlighten the people to love each other. You know what I mean? And love one another, and stop spreading hate amongst each other.
You sound enlightened. When did you get knowledge of self? Have you always had that?
I read.
Mr. Archie said to read.
Yeah, I read.
Right.
I read numerous of books, and it just teaches these things. And the people I spread I affiliate myself with. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we should always want to put ourselves in a better company,
Yes.
so we can always grow.
Well, you know the saying, if you hang around 5 dummies, guess who's gonna be the 6th?
Yeah.
Yo, so the people that just tuning in, right? Introduce yourself again. We're gonna get into this song, your green and white joint. Introduce your song, too.
My name Bruno Brown. Bruno Brown, the Philadelphia Brown Bomber. Now this green and white right here, right? This green and white, it's for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's a Philadelphia Eagles anthem, and
Wow.
it bring the energy. What?
Go ahead. I said, wow,
Oh
not
my
wow.
gosh, I'm talking about
They
this
give you
joint
a
bring the energy into the room. You know the Eagles is doing excellent right now. We play Arizona tomorrow, and we're going to run all over them Cardinals. And if we don't, if your team win or lose, you still got to rock with them and motivate them to do better. So this what that green and white bring to the table.
Yeah. You to the Indieville Radio, live
Yeah.
on WPPM LP Philadelphia. Let's get into this song. Yeah.
This is not a test. What you are witnessing is live radio 106.5 FM. And this is the Indivo Radio Show with your host, Mitch Barnes, Kel G, Reek, and I am